Okay. Welcome to this podcast. Is making me thirsty, the number one destination for Seinfeld fans. This episode 81. Today's guest is a stand-up comedian, actor, writer, and artist. You've seen her on The Late Show with David Letterman, Tonight Show with Johnny Carson, Mad About You, and Curb Your Enthusiasm. And of course, she played Jerry's girlfriend, Sandi, in the classic season 6 episode of Seinfeld, The Switch. Please welcome Jann Karam. Jann, thanks for joining.
Yay! Hi. There's a little. I feel like I look like I'm in a funeral home.
No, not at all.
Oh, you look great.
Very bright.
Okay, with the driveway, I got concrete to the left of me, Joker's
to the right.
Yeah, right. Grass.
Jann's in Arizona. She grew up in Superior, Arizona, of course.
Yeah.
So, Jann, this is great. We're so happy you're here. So, take us back, right? 1995, The Switch, but it's well documented. You tried out for Seinfeld a few times, right? So
Yes,
tell us
a couple of
a
times.
little bit about that, and then how this role of Sandi came about.
Okay, let's see. Well, I think I read for the cashier part. Maybe the cashier, and then something else, and then I was like, oh, they just want models, and then
Wait, so the cashier? Are you referring to Jerry dated the cashier?
Yeah, I
His ex-girlfriend?
think I auditioned for that. But it's like I knew Larry and Jerry from stand-up, so that every time I went in, they're sitting on the couch, and it was a casting couch. No, kidding. Am I allowed to make jokes like that
of
anymore?
course.
Let me ask my
Yes,
producer.
yes.
Well,
No,
we've
good.
heard some rumors, but go ahead.
We're good.
Yeah, no. So, and then I think George Shapiro was there, the manager, and then gosh, how could I forget his name? I needed to do my Mark Hirschfeld.
Mark Hirschfeld,
Hirschfeld,
Yeah, who ended up helping me with my short Castle
Yes.
Rock film under the Big Muu-Muu. Okay, he was like volunteered, he helped. So anyway, then so it's just awkward because you're trying not to. It's already hard to audition, and then so on the second time, I said I'm never auditioning again, or maybe it was the third time. I don't know, because of course you always say that, and then you go and do it. So it was before cell phones. So on the time that I auditioned for the Sandi part, then afterwards I said I said I'm going to a movie, and maybe it was Terminator or something. And I didn't have a cell phone to check. So I said, because they always say like, let it go and don't wait around, just do the audition and forget about it. Because the universe, whatever,
Right.
something about the universe, and not about the fact that you're going to get it or not. But, so then I, went to see the movie, and when I got out of the movie, and it was at the Beverly Center in Los Angeles. And then I was just thinking, if my phone is up high enough, do I need to raise it? Because then it shows your neck, and that's awful. Is this better? Okay.
Perfect.
You notice I like to drag out stories. Okay.
No,
So
keep going.
So
Terminator 2.
I don't know if it was 1 or 2, but it was one of those, or maybe it was Rocky. No, so then I get out of the movie and check my machine, and I'm doing the phone, and because it was a machine, it wasn't a cell phone. Isn't it weird? Because otherwise I would have been buzzed in the movie. This way I could just totally let the universe do its thing and let it give me the part. Otherwise, if I had a cell phone, I might not have gotten the part, because I would have been interfering with the flow of the universe, letting it do its magic. So anyway, I checked my thing. It says, hey, you got the part, and you have to be on set at 9 a.m. So I was like, no, oh my God, they called like at 9 or something that night. So I auditioned that day in the evening, I think like 6 o'clock. Then they called like 9 o'clock. That's when I was at the movie. It was a long movie. And then, so I had to get ready to go.
So the knowing of Jerry and Larry, take us through that as far and the cast. Yeah, but I mean, it seems to be like that might help getting you in the door, but you still got to nail the audition, right? So do you remember like the scene? You're character was known for not laughing.
Yeah.
At Jerry's jokes. Was that what the audition was? Do you remember, like that scene, just keeping that
Yeah,
straight
it
face?
was That's funny. I had to say that's funny, and I was like, "What's the big deal with this part?" They said they couldn't get anybody to say it right, or not couldn't get anybody, but it was a comedian who would know how to say that's funny. Because that's how we always say if somebody says something, the comedian says it, and they go, "That's funny."
Right, and they don't actually laugh, but they just acknowledge that
It's
that's
like
a good bit.
noted. Yeah, like, oh, that's funny. So then, yeah, I think it was after that. I think I might have talked to Larry Charles, he was one of the producers,
Right.
and then he might have said, yeah, because they want a comedian. And he said it was really good. And I was like, what's the big deal? You just say that's funny. But he said that not everybody was doing it right. And that a comedian had to do it. So I was like, okay, good.
And did you know the whole script at that point? Or you just had that scene. Like, did you know the menage a trois aspect and all that? Or
I don't think I had no, I think I just got my sides, which was I'm pretty sure it was that's funny, and then maybe ooh, what a wild idea. There was a nat. But I just remember that's funny stuck out to me because
you're
what's the big deal, huh?
Yeah, your delivery on that is just like spot on. You guys are at dinner talking about, oh, how do you like the movie? It's like so kind of corny and like, so this episode, by the way, was the most watched episode of season 6, right? 36.6 million viewers.
Oh my God.
Right. And that aired January 5th, which again, that's Christmas, New Year's is rare that you're going to get that high ratings, but obviously a big part of that was the Cosmo episode, right? So it was Kramer's name getting launched. So how much did you know about that? Because rumor has it that in the script they kind of X'd out his name to keep it secret, like they didn't release that kind of thing. How privy were you to the name drop of Cosmo?
So since I just had the sides, I didn't read the script. When I got to the set at 9:00, and then there was trouble with the boyfriend who was already obnoxious, giving me a ride and being jealous of any of my accomplishments. So
wait, your boyfriend at the time you're talking about?
My boyfriend at the time.
Hollywood guy?
Yeah, let's hear that story.
Well, it was awful. I was like, oh my God, I got this dream job, and he was a musician, so he knew like how important it was.
Right.
But he was always trying, just couldn't build me up. So that was bad. But I think on the way there, I said something about the tire's low. So you got to check the tire, and go, stop criticizing me or something. And I think either he got out of the car and then I had to drive myself there. It was something really harrowing like that, like of all days for you to be, so I didn't have time. I don't know if they got me the script. If I had time to read it, I can't remember because I didn't know it would be so memorable. I knew it was one of my dreams to be on Seinfeld, one of my goals I wanted. But I don't remember. Yeah. I don't remember. I don't think the Cosmo thing. I think I just had time to collect my own thoughts for my scene and figure out honestly how I'm going to say that's funny since it was so pivotal.
Yeah, for our money, the Cosmo thing was kind of a gimmick. We weren't, we were talking about it before you came on. It wasn't our favorite. Your part was our favorite part of the show, like that story. The Cosmo stuff, they built it up, but we weren't even thinking what Kramer's name was. It didn't seem like a big deal to us
right.
Time.
It wasn't a, and everybody seems to like, oh, if I say the switch or I say that's funny, now people more recognize it, but it was like I say, oh, the menage a trois episode. And they go, oh yeah.
Yeah, that's the clincher right there. Not sure it's pronounced.
The menage a trois.
When Jerry and George are kind of talking through that plan, and you're acting it out with the roommate, kind of take us through that scene because that's kind of a fun scene. I don't know if you knew it was going to be like that when you were shooting it. Did you know there was going to be sound and you made those faces like if you want to talk to him, that kind of thing? Like maybe just take us through your thought process in that scene and how that went down.
Okay, well, Larry, Larry was giving direction, and they had said, and I remember it was like Larry and Jerry and Jason, and they had introduced me to Jason, but and so they said, oh, she's a comedian, really funny. So then he was real nice because he was extra, like part of the club kind of a thing of that Jerry and Larry were endorsing me, and so they were all kind of watching as I was doing the scene. But Larry explained that it was going to be without sound and that I'm going to do it like that. So yes, it was. I was mouthing the words. I wasn't really saying them. If you want, it's like if you want to go out with her or something, whatever it was, that's your problem. And I was like, get out. So yeah, I knew that that's the style that it was explained to me.
The line was, if you want to waste your time with that pervert, that's your problem.
Right.
Yeah,
right,
and you're
right. Yeah,
you're
right.
trouble, yeah.
And then I'm like busy at work typing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
it was really fun. That was a great part because it was like an old movie or, without sound. Go ahead.
That was so well done. Yeah, and Heather Medway played the roommate with you. I mean, I felt like you guys had pretty good chemistry, even though it's such a small scene. But yeah, so you mentioned Jason, and I know you had a scene early on at the tennis club, right, with Elaine, Julie. I don't think you had anything with Kramer, but yeah, what can you kind of tell us? Just again, this was season 6. It's on Thursday night. Like I said, 36 million people watching. Like, give us like just a sense of like what the vibe was on the show. Did you know? I mean, clearly you were a fan of Seinfeld. You tried to get on in the early years, but now it was kind of at another level. Just kind of give us a vibe of the show at that.
I remember the pilot. I actually went to the pilot taping, so it was really fun. But who knew, right? It was.
Wait, how'd you?
Oh, yeah, what's the story behind that? Going to the pilot
in '89,
being friendly with Jerry.
And well, I somehow a friend of mine, the executive producer Jerry Perzigian, and I went with him. I'm not sure if I got to go or he got him or what, but and I actually met Julia that day, that after the taping or during. And she said, oh, I'm a really big fan. Nice to meet you, because of my young comedian special was on. So I always remember that. She was real nice. And And I saw Jerry, and it was just kind of like a pilot. We don't know what we're going to do. And then my friend Jerry had said, because he worked on Golden Girls and like Jeffersons, he goes way back, and he was more like a regular TV sitcom format. And he said, I don't know, because it didn't have these scenes that they're moving here, they're moving there, and it's not really but of course we thought it was great, but it wasn't the usual, like, how are they going to afford to do this?
Yeah, at the time, no one knew what it was going to be, obvious. I
mean, you and just all the different scenes and locations, and everything didn't tie up in a nice, tidy bow at the end.
Right. So, it sounds like you had a good relationship with Jerry, and it sounds like even Larry. So, tell us about, I know you were just, you wrapped up Curb. What can you tell us about that? Anything about your experience there, your episode? Well, maybe not specifically about the show if you can't give it away, but just, in general, how'd that come up, and how, how much fun was that?
Oh, well, okay. So I had actually auditioned for Cheryl, the role of Cheryl.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Really?
Yeah, and so I did something about, what are you going to do with chicken wings or chicken salad? We were talking about something, and then he said, I can't have you be the wife. It was for the pilot. I know you too well, or something, or I know you. I'd feel too uncomfortable improvising or something. But so I don't know. I didn't end up getting it, obviously. And then I had auditioned. I always wanted to, and I think I auditioned for a couple of parts, but they weren't really. I think one was, what was the one? It was the it wasn't sexual abuse survivor. No, it was a girl that was in a battered woman's home, and then the thing about pick up the dog. Your dog pooped on our lawn or something. I think it was that one. So this one I didn't even audition. They just offered it to me, and I'm not sure it's gonna. The show was maybe too long.
Oh no.
I don't know if I'm supposed to say it. I was like,
say
it.
So wait, what episode is that going to be?
8.
All right.
Yeah, but I could maybe come back and tell that story next time once the show airs.
So
once you know it.
What can you? So it's funny. So the switch was 26 years ago.
Can you believe it?
Yeah. No, I mean, like I said, the whole cos. I'll never forget. Like live, like the promotion of that. Like that was the hook to get people in. And like I said, but I think
I know.
So you dealt with Larry then, right? And now you're dealing with Larry now. Like any similarities, any differences, like based on all that time that passed, or is it same old Larry?
It's no, it's pretty much same old Larry, but he's so busy. In fact, he's always been real nice to me. He gave me, when I was doing a fundraiser for my one woman show, the one Reclining Nude on La Cienega, he sent money, and then he actually, after he left Seinfeld, he got my script. I had a pilot script and a movie that under the Big Muu-Muu. He got it to, I don't know, his agent or manager or something, but so he was helpful in that way. Then I think it gets to be too much. One time I called him and he said, he called me back. I think it was 97. That was like right when he left. And I still have the message. He says, he left me a voicemail. He goes, "This isn't about money, is it? This better not be about money. Because I'm not giving you any money. I mean, call me back, but I'm not giving you any money. I mean, still call me back." But he was joking, and he'd never given me money, so it wasn't about that. But it was pretty funny. I forget what it was about, though. I guess everyone wants something from him. Huh?
Yeah, I was going to say he probably gets a lot of people hitting him up for all different kinds of things.
Yeah.
I mean, you've had such an amazing career. Letterman and Carson and Curb and Seinfeld. These are some giants in the industry as far as comedy goes. And you mentioned your you want to call it a special or one woman show, but
yeah.
What is your when you're looking back now just a little bit, what is your most proud moment of all, like kind of what you've done with your career, or like what have you been what would you want us to say you're most proud of?
You guys, I didn't even get your names, which is weird.
Oh yeah, we should have said at the beginning. I'm Tony and that's Chris.
Okay, hi Tony. I'm Jann. Okay. Let me tell you something, is that but I'll go back to but my friend, Bill Burr's, he produces all of Bill Burr's stuff. And so I met with Bill Burr, with Mike, his guy Mike, and we were going to do my podcast that I called In My Bed, but this was before COVID. And so they introduced me to Andrew, who was going to help me with it. And then Andrew said, I'm a giant Seinfeld fan and I want to do a Seinfeld podcast with you. And I said, well, I'm not like a collector, like you guys. And so we talked about it a lot. So I was afraid like maybe he's going to do his, but I don't know, he got too busy, and then COVID, and he's really, really sweet guy. He's so nice. And so I never ended up doing my In My Bed, which was I was gonna have people over, and I was gonna even ask Larry, come over to my house or I go to theirs, but it takes place in bed. So everything that you talk about in bed, people that
You did it with Stoller.
I did, yeah. I did that was like on March 7th, 2020.
Right.
So he was on set for your episode as well. At least he was on staff. Is that how you connected with him, or you knew him throughout the years as well?
No, I know Fred from Catch a Rising Star too. So when I was at Catch a Rising Star, came from Arizona to Chicago to New York. That's when I met Larry David, Jerry Seinfeld, Bill Maher, and Fred Stoller, Gilbert Gottfried, Rita Rudner, Carol Leifer, stuff like that. Yeah.
So all those people you mentioned, they're writers at heart, right? And you're a comedian, and I feel like you're a writer. Like, did you ever?
Yes.
Did you ever? I don't know. you tried out for Seinfeld a bunch of times, but did you ever like try to submit any ideas from a writing?
I kind of regret that I didn't do that but that's what Fred did, and so then Larry and Jerry put him on staff for a year, but there wasn't anything to do. If you've read Fred's show, have you read? I mean, Fred's book about
Yeah,
he actually did. He didn't have a great experience. It sounded like.
Yeah, and so Larry and Jerry did like Larry would write all the script, but I think they would just take your ideas. It's not like you were in a writer's room. So since I did, this is what I regret, sort of, in a way. I'm not sure. I wanted to do my own thing, my own voice, and I had that short film Under the Big Muu-Muu, which was really ahead of its time. It was a single camera for TV, but then they called it short films, right? For festivals and things like that. But I was like, I'm going to do a short. It's single camera. It's about a day in a life or a weekend with the mom visiting me. And it's slice of lifey and it's nuancy and all that. But then they wanted like friends and multicam and everything. So that kind of just didn't go anywhere. But my dream was to always do my own thing and develop my own voice and to not get caught up on a show, which was, I don't know if it's dumb in hindsight, because I had an agent and he wanted me to write a friend's pilot, a spec script and all that. But I wanted to write my own stuff, which is kind of sad because I don't have the money now. But I don't know if that would have worked out either. I don't know.
Yeah.
So Bruce Kirschbaum and Sam Cass wrote this episode, and it was a packed episode. Like aside from the switch, there was George's girlfriend vomiting and Elaine in the tennis racket, and
you're right.
Did you have any issues as a I hate saying this time, as a woman at that time with that topic, or you're a comedian and you thought it was just funny? Because I mean, at that point they had the contest, they did the mango, you name it. So the topic of menage a trois, like, were you comfortable with that?
I thought it was funny. I don't know. I didn't think about it. Should I have thought? That's what's wrong with me is like somebody could be molesting me or something. And I'm like, wait, is this wrong? I'm kind of like not. I'm not like feminist, but also wasn't that me? I'm not that I'm that vulnerable, but it's before Me Too. And don't you think it's just funny? Should I examine it further and say, should we have done that?
I think it was one of the least of those, if you even want to get into that topic with.
Oh yeah,
it was all good. It was all in good fun.
It was all the guys
consensual, really. And Jerry didn't even do it. Jerry couldn't even get himself to do it.
Yeah, he said he couldn't do it. He's not an orgy guy. Yeah,
exactly. One of the best lines of his.
Because I said, "Ooh, what a wild idea! Does that mean that girls are loose or women are loose, or what is it? What's the downside of it?" Or I'm not sure. We should look into it, maybe.
No, there is.
But that's a good question. Yeah. No, I don't know. I was so happy to get the part. All I know is that my hair
looks great.
There was a problem with my hair though on the show, which always happens.
On the show, your hair looked fantastic.
Yeah, I thought so.
Well, finally, thank you. No, but what happened was the assistant person, the hair person, said, she looks a lot like Julia. Because my hair is naturally curly.
Yeah,
it's like Julia, and they said you shouldn't. She kind of looks like Julia. You shouldn't make her hair curly. She says, "Oh, she looks nothing like Julia." She wasn't very nice. And then it was funny as I told Jerry later. He goes, "What's wrong with hair people?" He said, "We've gone through like 8 of them." He goes, "They're like hair. They're hard to manage. They need conditioner." They need. But
that's interesting. The hair people,
I know. Huh?
I said it's interesting that the hair people was a tough
that was the
crew member to get
with the hair. So the woman does the curling iron, and I go, "Really? You don't need to do so much curling iron." Then she sprays my hair with that Freeze and Shine, which is like a big, very popular Paul Mitchell Freeze and Shine. And I was like, "No, it's going to make it frizzy." And I always have trauma about my hair because people that they don't know how to do curly hair so much, so they'll over product it. So then Larry comes in. It's now we're waiting all day to go. It was like got pushed back from say 10 o'clock to now 2 o'clock. And then the hair person was upset because she had to go show a house or something. Am I supposed to tell these kinds of stories?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, no, it's fine. It's great. We love behind the
because I don't
scenes.
know like what you're supposed to keep secret.
Oh, I thought you meant for us. For you, I mean, you didn't sign any NDAs, did you? It just sounds like a story about a behind the scenes.
Yeah. Well, it was true. It was like true. Everyone was so nice and it was so great. And Jerry and Larry couldn't have been more welcoming. And so then I guess they realized that then they on top of it they pull my hair back with curly, so it's exactly how Julia wears her hair. So then next thing I know, they go, Jan, you're on the set, and I'm getting ready to do the the typewriter scene. Hold on, I'm putting my glasses down. So I'm getting ready to do the typewriter scene, and so Larry comes in. He goes, oh yeah, she does kind of look like Julia. And then he goes, fix her hair. You need to change her hair so it's not like Julia. And then she got all nervous, and I was looking at the assistant like we've been telling her all day. And then she goes, well, now she goes, like what? And then she says, so she takes she says, how about like this? And then she does my hair like that. And then Larry says, well, there are other hairstyles that don't look like Julia that are attractive. And then
my God.
I know, because it was like, she was trying to cover real quick, right? So then she and what's her name? The Medway. What's her name?
Heather Medway.
Heather Medway. Yeah. She was there and she was watching it all. And so then Larry left, and then she goes, come here. And I sit down in the chair, and she takes like one of those bristle brushes, the plastic kind, and she just rips through my hair. And Heather said, I could hear your hair breaking. And she like took out all the freeze and shine and all the curls. So, so it was like glued. So she just took the brush real quick, and then it came out how it did, which you didn't need to go through all that just to get that effect, which was very stressful.
Sounds it, yeah. Especially if you're about to go on, right? It sounds like it wasn't.
Yeah, they were waiting for me. The guy comes back in. Are you ready now? We're waiting. And then by the time I went out, so I was really harried internally for that scene. So maybe it helped me.
I mean, Jan, what a stressful week. The boyfriend kicking you out of the car.
Yeah.
So this episode airs January 5th, 1995. 36.6 million people watch it.
I didn't even know that. Oh my God.
Did it well, no, you had to know because there had to be some sort of impact. Obviously, like, did it change? Did people come up to you and, no. Ask crazy things and say, oh, what a wild idea, make you say things like that? Or
no, it's so weird because until recently, because, there wasn't social media, right? So it was like you saw it or you didn't, or people would later say, oh, I saw your Seinfeld episode. And even now people say, I saw your Seinfeld episode. But before I would have to say, they go, which one were you on? You were on Seinfeld? Which one? I said, The Switch. No, it doesn't register. That's when they said Cosmo's first name. No. I go, well, Jerry. Then I finally say, Jerry wants to have a menage a trois. Oh, yeah, that was great. The orgy. Yeah. So it's like, okay, then that's how they remember it. But now, since it's out there so much, people know Sandi, The Switch, or they don't know Sandi, but they love the menage a trois episode. It's really what they should have called it. Nobody really kind of remembers the Kramer's last name, like you said.
Well, what's funny is the original name was supposed to be called the Bulimic. So they actually, the George stuff, and then they wanted to keep the Kramer name, secret. So I think that's why they went with The Switch. But like we said earlier, The Switch, to us, was probably the best storyline of the episode.
Jerry and George in the diner going over it and telling the story with you acting it out. Yeah.
That film noir kind of look, right?
Yeah, with the music in the background.
And
yeah,
Jan,
it was great.
You look exactly the same as you did 26 years ago. It's
Oh
unbelievable.
my God. Thank you.
So anyway, yeah. So like, just take like going back. Take us back 26 years. Like when you're on this, like, were you and Jerry and Larry getting lunch because you knew them, or did you befriend any of the kind of the new like Wayne Knight or Kramer's?
No,
Like, give us a
no.
little bit of the set, like kind of that week.
Oh, I think it was just, wasn't it just, I think it was just done in one day. So so it wasn't, I
You
wasn't,
filmed that in one day?
yes, I think so. Did I go, let's see, because we did the Sandi scene, change, diner. Maybe it was 2 days. It was 2 days, right? I don't know.
Was there anything maybe
Let me
even
look at
in the
my
act out
checks.
stuff? Yeah, was there anything in like the act out stuff, or maybe just in general where that you either ad libbed or they got cut, or that acting that stuff out? Was anything you remember that didn't that you were having to do
No, it was
during
kind
that
of
kind
pretty
of
much, yeah,
storytelling? Yeah.
I think so. I like with Curb, we did a lot of back and forth,
Right.
and then and exploring the topic um of, but so then that's like, oh, what are they going to end up using? Because
Right.
wasn't it Joanne that was a guest, and then she said that, oh no, she did Curb. She was talking about Curb, how it ended up just being a couple lines or something, not just, but
Yeah.
remember
I mean, you never. Yeah.
Joanne, what's her name? I forget names. Principa? You guys had her on. Lisa.
Lisa Pesha.
Yeah, Lisa Pesci. Yeah.
Yeah, Lisa Pesha.
She
Yeah,
was
yeah.
telling me that story because we did that Hollywood,
Yeah.
the Hollywood show.
The women in Seinfeld, right?
Yeah, it was really fun, but it was bizarre because it was first time kind of out with COVID and people didn't show up. And
So there was a lot of chatter about Thirsty on that thing, or what between you guys?
oh yeah, well she told us all. She says, "Hey, if you guys get approached about it, it's great. I had a lot of fun. Do the show." Because we had a text going. So then I said, okay. Well, no, but before that I was.
Right.
I was just on the fence about our other, one.
Right. Did you during that, just go back to the show a little bit, just did you did you shoot your act outs in front of the audience, or was that done like but you know what I'm saying, when Jerry and George were talking over your stuff? Was your stuff like taped and shown to the audience? And how does that work with a live audience?
That was pre-taped. That's right. That's how it went. So I think it was did we go on a Tuesday and then the audience is Thursday or Friday? I'm not sure, but that was pre-taped because then they're going to show that had to be edited to explain it,
Yeah.
Right,
So
right.
what's interesting, you only had 4 lines, but your performance was just so much more than that. And what's funny is was there any discussion to bring you back for the finale? Like, because I know Larry,
no, I don't think so.
They looked at Jerry and then doing like crazy things and probably asking for Minaj. Probably could have.
Oh yeah, that would have been
Probably
a good
could
idea.
way into the finale.
Yeah. No, I wasn't. Oh, in terms of like going to lunch or things like that, no, because I think they're pretty busy working on things. And then it was so hectic with the schedule being pushed back, and then you're waiting around, and then my hair. So it wasn't like, but I do remember, at the restaurant scene, Jerry and I were chatting and so just, having it was fun. Like, it seemed very relaxed and fun. It wasn't stressful. And that's when I told him about the hair thing. I think it was the next day. Yeah. Was it the next day? Gosh, I can't remember. See, because we don't, why? We don't have a cell phone to document everything. So it's
Good.
kind of just like it happened, and I don't know. Yeah.
Well, I mean, you should be very proud. I mean, one of the top watched episodes of all time. Obviously, clearly season 6. So, tell us a little bit about what you do. Yeah, tell us about what you're doing now. I mean, it must be.
Well, wait, one more thing about it. One other thing is, it was voted number 1 girlfriend episode by Up Rocks magazine. a very scientific look at Jerry's girlfriend, something like that. I think it's called.
We this Thursday ranks you top 5 girlfriends of Jerry, hands down.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's okay. Who's the number one?
There's no particular.
There's no order. It's just the top 5.
Oh, what does that mean? I don't get it. What?
It means you're all winners.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh,
Listen,
you guys just became fans, or you've been?
Well, we were fans when it aired live. I mean, we were a little bit younger, but we were still, that was our prime age. We started watching back in 89, 90, and
okay.
Yeah, so we've been fans all the way through. But we're fair. We analyze we've analyzed every show, and we're fair to the we're partial to the basically Larry David years. 2 through 5 and 6 and 7.
You could tell the difference when he left, right?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there was we kind of break it down as 3 different changes. I mean, when Sharon's and Larry Charles left after season 5, there was sort of a switch. Yeah. And then Larry David left after season 7. There was another switch that was even more obvious.
Oh, how funny! Okay.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, you were in that gap year that was still strong, obviously. With season 6, so it wasn't that notable of a missing of a beat, and obviously that episode was just iconic. So
you had Ackerman as Andy Ackerman was your director, right?
Yes, and he was really great. He was so nice, and it was a really pleasant and fun experience. And I felt like I was with comedians, and it was the only problem was with the hair.
So Janet, tell us what you're up to now. I watched your Reclining Nude on La Cienega.
La Cienega, yeah. Oh, you did?
No, I mean, it must have been really like cathartic, and you talk about your parents, your family in a funny way, but maybe touch on that a little bit.
Let's see. Well, George Slaughter saw me do it. I'd just been working on it. What happened was, I think like in 91, was it then? No, 97. See, I just wanted to do more than what I could do with stand-up, and that's when I had done Under the Big Muu-Muu. So the next thing was to do I painted at home, and then I do stand-up. So how do I combine the two so that you could then go into a storytelling deeper and still be funny, but just be able to kind of delve into it more than like the comedy clubs. So then I just kind of started working on it and dabbling. And it wasn't until every time I put it up, it was expensive. So it wasn't until then George Slaughter, I put it up for 6 weeks at the Lillian Theater, and George Slaughter came and he created Laugh-In. And then he said, let's do it. But then, so in 2015, he shot it at the Greenway Court Theater. And then I have it. I just put it on YouTube, but I don't have able to get it onto Netflix or something like that. So I'd like to, but it was very cathartic. Yes, because that's one of the things that I wanted to do was tell a story. It's not stand up. It's a 1-person show, beginning, middle, end. And then they end up doing stand up specials like that now. So I'm ahead of my time.
How many white teddy bears did you have? Because
yeah, I know. Well, I have, if you want one, I saved them. Let's see. I think at first I was using rags. So the show just went through a lot of different incarnations and developing it to where it finally made sense and gelled. But it took a lot of time, a lot of thought, a lot of money, a lot of productions and everything.
Yeah. Well, listen.
And George Slaughter helped a lot.
For sure, you're ahead of your time, and you're
no, I'm not.
No, listen, you're one of the gems in Hollywood. So we just want to thank you for everything. Thank you for making us laugh on Seinfeld, and we appreciate you coming on the show.
Oh, thanks. There's one more thing that I just wanted to say is that I made out of my handprint. Because I do the handprint. Let's see.
Yeah, the painting.
Yeah, show it.
I wanted to ask you about that.
Yeah, show it, baby. You just back it up and show it. I might have a bar stool. So from COVID, so anyway, I had the handprint and I'm like, oh, that's kind of cool because it's like germs and stuff. Oh, It's straight. And then, so I made these wash your hands signs. And I thought, oh, these would be great in schools and hospitals and stuff. Wash your hands with this colorful handprint. So I'm working on that. So, and I'll send you guys one. Where do you guys live?
Oh, very cool. Oh, there you go.
New Jersey.
Oh, you're in Jersey.
Very cool.
Okay, you see that? The nice. So yeah, so I'm doing that. I mean, they're like,
Jen, hey, you send us that. We'll send you one of these mugs.
Yeah, give me a mug. Okay, and then I have one some for little kids. Oh, okay. I'll send you guys some. And then, oh wait, you were one question I need to answer that Tony asked. Yeah. Go back, and then you guys have to go.
No, go ahead.
What was it?
You asked me what was the bet out of all the things that I did, and I looked back. But you know, all of them, because all of everything that I've done, I wanted to do. Okay, so like I got on the Young Comedian special, and that's like a miracle. I don't even know how that happened, except I was working with Dennis Miller. He recommended me. I had to showcase at the Improv in Santa Monica, and so I got that. And then I wanted the Tonight Show. I wanted Letterman, and I wanted Seinfeld, and I wanted Curb. Like all of there. It's not like I said I really want to be on Friends. Like all the ones that I wanted to do the one woman show, and I wanted to make my short film. The problem is I need to aim higher instead of just being creative dreams. You know what I mean? Like, oh, okay, maybe I should have written on a show. That's all I'm saying.
I'm thinking you hit the mark on all of those. I think those are some great ones to shoot for, and you nailed them all.
Yeah.
Jen, who wants to be on Friends? Give me a break. But how?
I know, but I don't know why I keep bringing up Friends. But okay.
So, and you're also tight with Dana Carvey, right?
I tour with. I open for him, and
why don't we get something going with him?
Yeah. Well, he's always doing something. I was in a couple things, but I was on a pilot. I read the pilot. And I remember the First Impressions. I was in the pilot of that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So, and I'm happy to go on
things. Yeah.
Tour with him.
There's so many things that just they don't make it for any other. You don't know why they're not. You know, like there's so many pilots, so many things that just why something hits and why something doesn't hit. You never know. You know.
Yeah, and that's why I think you got to put your heart or your focus on what your attention on your passion, what really drives you, as opposed to like we were just talking about going back and should I have written on a show or a spec script or something, but that wasn't calling to me. So then I don't know. There's still not a guarantee, right?
Right. I mean, exactly. I know you might as well do what you want. You might as well do it. Yeah.
Which is what you guys are doing, right?
That's right.
You guys are doing it.
We did. And Jen, for the record, we're all pulling for Arizona State here because we love Herm Edwards. All right.
Oh, okay. Okay. So let's hope that happens. and what about the Dodgers? You're just kidding? Are you really?
No,
he's not kidding. He's a huge Herm Edwards fan. He's a huge Herm Edwards fan.
Oh, okay. And the Dodgers too, right?
Sure. If you're rooting for them,
when Mattingly was managing them. No, I'm just kidding. We're still rooting for the Dodgers.
Oh, okay, you're okay. That's going to be on right now. Oh, we're missing the game.
I know. So we'll let you go. But this was great, Jen. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Jen.
Thank you so much, Tony and Chris. Thank you. It was really fun. Awesome. I enjoyed it.
Care.
Okay.
Thank you.
Take care.
Have a good
Bye.
night. Bye.
Chowder, as they say.
Chowder.